My girlfriend dropped an ultimatum. If you dare go to your best friend's bachelor party, I'm hooking up with my ex. I looked her dead in the eye and said, try not to do anything I wouldn't do. Then I flew to Vegas, tracked down that very ex, and sent her a live photo of him standing in the middle of our crew, cracking up after I showed him her message. Jesus on a jet ski, what a weekend. In my 29 years of questionable life choices, I never thought I'd wind up in Sin City with my best friend and my girlfriend's infamous ex, bonded like war veterans over the realization that she was completely unhinged. Grab a drink, Reddit. This one's wild. Quick background. I'm Dave, full-time live sound engineer, part-time craft beer nerd, and until about 72 hours ago, boyfriend to Megan, 28. We've been dating just over a year, matched on an app, clicked over obscure bands, and a mutual disgust for capes and tights movies. On paper, things were good. Or so I told myself. Megan is brilliant, stunning, ambitious, and about as emotionally subtle as a fire alarm. When she's happy, the sun shines brighter. When she's mad, you check for exits. I used to find the intensity thrilling. My last girlfriend had the personality of plain oatmeal, but in hindsight there were neon red flags I pretended were pink. The biggest flag had a name, Trevor, her ex of 2 years. According to Megan, he was a cold-blooded, gaslighting monster who probably kicked puppies for sport. Yet for some reason his name came up constantly. Trevor got engaged. Trevor bought a Tesla. Trevor was dating some Instagram thought who wasn't even in Megan's league. I'd never met the guy, but from her stories I imagined a Wall Street werewolf in Patagonia vests. She swore they had zero contact, only heard things through the grapevine. I let it slide. Everyone's got history, right? Fast forward to now. My best friend since we were 5, Alex, is getting married. He asked me to be best man, which meant I had to throw the bachelor party. Being a ride-or-die friend, and terrible with money, I booked a full-on Vegas blowout. Bellagio suite, steakhouse, bottle service, the whole cliché. Dates were set 2 months earlier, non-refundable. Bad timing. Megan had a massive work presentation the following week and was spiraling. She wanted me glued to her side for emotional support. I reminded her, gently, that she'd known about this trip for ages. 3 days. She'd survive. She did not take it well. You're abandoning me right before the biggest moment of my career became, your friends matter more than me, became daily warfare. 3 days before departure, she went full scorched earth. We were at her place. I was trying one last calm conversation when she leaned back and said, fine, go to Vegas. But I bumped into Trevor last week and he's been blowing up my phone. If you leave me alone this weekend, I'm calling him over. And we both know how that ends. I waited for the just kidding. It never came. So you're threatening to sleep with your ex if I go on a pre-planned trip? She inspected her manicure. I'm simply informing you of the natural consequences of your priorities. Something in me short-circuited. Instead of begging or canceling, I heard myself say, cool. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Her head snapped up. What? You heard me. I'm going to Vegas. If you want to bang Trevor, that's on you. Just remember actions have reactions. I walked out before she could reply. Sat in my car shaking for 20 minutes. Had my girlfriend really just tried to blackmail me with infidelity? And had I actually called her bluff? Old Dave would have folded, canceled everything, and seethed in silence. But this felt bigger than a bachelor party. This was about respect, manipulation, and the ghost of Trevor who'd haunted our relationship since day one. My phone lit up. I hope this trip is worth losing me. I didn't answer. Instead, I did something either genius or psychotic. I found Trevor. Wasn't hard. I knew his last name, Williams, his employer, Goldman, and roughly what he looked like from Megan's stalking level knowledge. LinkedIn, Instagram mutual connection. My cousin works at the same bank. I slid into his DMs. Hey man, you don't know me, but I'm Megan's current boyfriend. We need to talk. He replied in under 5 minutes. Oh no. What did she do this time? Not angry. Not defensive. Just tired. We arranged beers the next evening. Trevor walked into the bar looking exactly like his profile. Tall, marathon lean, standard finance guy uniform. Zero serial killer energy. After I proved I wasn't another of Megan's flying monkeys, he relaxed. Then he dropped truth bombs for 2 straight hours. Turns out Megan cheated on him with a coworker. The no contact was a lie. She'd been harassing him on and off for 2 years. Drunk 2 a.m. texts, showing up at his apartment, once at his parents' house on Thanksgiving. He showed me an entire folder of screenshots, time-stamped and damning. He'd actually tried to file for a restraining order. Cops basically patted him on the head because she's tiny and pretty. By the end of the night, my brain was rebooting. Everything I thought I knew about my relationship was fiction, but I also felt free, like I'd been breathing secondhand smoke for a year and finally stepped outside. As we paid the tab, Trevor asked, "So what now?" And that's when the light bulb exploded. "I'm still going to Vegas," I said, "and I have a spare bed in the suite. Want to come?" He stared like I'd suggested robbing a casino with pool noodles. "You're serious?" "Deadly. One guy already bailed for work. You just cover his part of the room. Think of it as therapy." He texted later that night. "Boss approved the PTO. I'm in. This is insane, but I'm in." Next day, we all met at the airport. Alex, legend that he is, welcomed Trevor with, "Any enemy of Megan is a friend of ours." Within 24 hours, Trevor was one of the boys. Funny, bought rounds, told Megan stories that had us wheezing. Saturday night, after losing our shirts at blackjack and gaining them back in tequila, I finally replied to Megan's escalating meltdown texts. Trevor peered over my shoulder. "Too nice," he judged. "Do this instead." We gathered the whole crew at our VIP table, made a sign on a cocktail napkin that read, "Team Trevor," and took the most glorious group photo in bachelor party history. Everyone pointing and laughing at the sign, Trevor front and center with his arm around me. Caption: "Making new friends who have so much in common with me." Sent. Her reply was instantaneous nuclear fallout. 27 missed calls, essays about betrayal, and the chef's kiss text. "Did you talk to him about me?" "What did he say?" Trevor read it and nearly choked on his drink. She's terrified of her own reflection at this point. We left her on read and kept partying. By Sunday, her campaign had expanded to harassing Trevor directly, calling Alex's fiancée to warn her I'd been brainwashed, and telling bar strangers back home that I'd kidnapped Trevor in a revenge plot. Monday morning, hungover but victorious, I called her from the hotel balcony with Trevor listening in. She picked up screaming. I waited for a gap and said, "I met Trevor. He showed me everything. We're done. Because of him, you're choosing him over me." "No, I'm choosing sanity. Don't contact me again." Hung up. Changed my locks that same week. Epilogues. 3 months later, Alex's wedding was perfect. Trevor came as my +1. Megan tried to poison the guest list with conspiracy theories. Everyone just laughed harder. Elise, the audio engineer Trevor had been casually dating, and I became close friends. She got me a sweet film scoring gig. 1 year later, Trevor and Elise lived together. I helped them move. My career is on fire thanks to connections born from this chaos. Alex's wife is pregnant. I'm godfather. Trevor and Elise are honorary aunt/uncle. Megan apparently consciously uncoupled from the yoga instructor, now another narcissist, and is dating a crypto bro number 8 who already DM'd me asking if he should run. I sent, yes. I'm seeing a documentary filmmaker now. When I told her the shortened version of this saga on date 3, she said, "You don't sound bitter. You sound free." And she's right. Moral of the story: if someone threatens to cheat to control you, sprint. And if they never shut up about their psycho ex, maybe buy that ex a beer. Sometimes the villain origin story was written by the villain. Life's weird. Sometimes your worst-case scenario turns into your best plot twist. Just ask Trevor. We still grab beers every month and toast to surviving the hurricane. Cheers, Reddit. Stay safe out there.